at Art Denhood Block 5. This is, he's one of our premier growers. It's a lot of Riesling we're in the middle of. A lot of people source this Riesling. I think one of these blocks goes to Chateau Saint Michel, known as the Dark Side, for Eroica, for Dr. Lewson's project. And basically about 600 tons of this comes to my program. It started out kind of being a more challenging year for me because of this is the coldest spring we've had since 1985, and we had a cooler summer than typical, and so we're seeing earlier ripening varietals like Sauvignon Blanc and Chardonnay. They're coming in 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks late. I mean, I think I just finished picking out my Sauv Blanc last week, so that's the first week of October. Usually it's picked Labor Day. That's a month. But the other varietals are kind of catching up, so we're picking Merlot pretty much on time for an average year. But it just kind of shifted things around, you know. I'm used to pulling all my Sauvignon Blanc in by the middle of September, and I'm still picking it in the first week of October, and so it just kind of throws your rhythm off, I guess. Whites are, you know, it's getting colder at night, and so are they getting up to temperature quickly enough, and it just kind of modifies your winemaking. But I think that what I've seen across broadly is that the flavors are happening this year at less ripe bricks. So usually, you know, we're hanging until 25, 26 plus bricks because we're not really concerned about the bricks, but we're waiting for the flavor development. And this year, I'm seeing more flavor development in lower bricks, which makes it, makes you feel better about picking earlier. Yeah, I do. I see it as years more balanced, and I might actually disagree with you there. I think that there are critics that like the high alcohols and the concentration, and there are critics that are preferring a more European style, like 12, 13% alcohol. And I think consumers, it's just the way the pendulum swings. Everybody wants these big extracted Zinfandels and things that are typically 15-16% alcohol, and then it swings back to, God, I'm just sick of those. I want to drink something that's 12%. And so yeah, I'd say this year we're probably hitting under 14%, which is a difficult thing to do in Washington State naturally. So I'm pleased about that. All the reds we've seen so far are Merlot and Syrah. I haven't started picking Cab yet, so I can't really speak to that, but that's still hanging out in the vineyard. So it's a little worrying. It's not really risky, but it's, with the weather getting this cold and thinking, wow, I've got 600 tons of Cab out there. I haven't even started making into wine. But the red quality for the Merlot and Syrah has been great, and even though I'm impatient with the Sauvignon Blanc, all the fermentations that are going on right now, as well as Chardonnay, are tasting great. So,
how do you balance between the winemaking and coming out here, taking the time to go see what's going on with the grapes that you have yet to pick?
Yeah, I've kind of developed this rhythm. I wake up and basically pull my clothes on and go out to the vineyards probably until 10 or 11. I think I sourced from about 31 vineyards. My reds are in the Horse Heaven Hills. My whites are in the Yakima Valley. I have some reds in like North Pasco and in Mattawa. And so any given day I'll probably go to 3 or 4 vineyards, and there might be, I don't know, like 6 or 7 blocks in each of those vineyards. And hopefully I get to the winery by 10, 11 and start dealing with that stuff there. Hopefully nothing's fallen apart there and everybody is on task, and so it goes that way. And then as we get further into harvest, there's more stuff that's picked out, and so there's less vineyards to go to. Or at first, you're mainly going to all your Sauvignon Blanc and Chardonnay, and now all that's picked out, so now you're turning your attention to Riesling and Cab. So you just kind of balance your days that way. But I'll tell you what, drinking or tasting that many grapes on an empty stomach every morning. Kerry has it right. He eats breakfast and then he goes out to the vineyards, and I go out to the vineyards and then get to the winery at 10 and eat breakfast, and by that time I've had my fill of sugar for sure.
We started planting here in 2000.
2000, okay, all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what all do you have planted here? What's the name of this vineyard?
That's all it's called, Art Denhoed.
Yeah, it's just, we don't really have a, we haven't come up with a name yet. It's just Art Denhoed Vineyards.
All right.
Kate's Place.
Kate's Place, yeah, there we go, we could do that. This is about 250 acres.
Okay. Oh.
And it's all, well drained. It's a south slope and works out well.
Now, has this land been in the family, or?
No, this is a purchase.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
This is not in the family.
Okay. Now, speaking of the family, what is the family tree? There's a lot of Denhoeds in the Washington wine industry.
Let's count them.
How do you fit in?
Bill.
Those
Nate,
are cousins.
Joe.
Okay.
Archie.
Cousins, and like Joe is an uncle, and Nate's, of course, also a cousin. And Bill and Arch, they're cousins also.
All right.
Well, my uncle he originally planted some, and then we were able to get contracts through Stimson Lane, and that's kind of how we started planting the wine grapes.
Okay. So now
Originally it was what we started with was all open crop, and then we started wine grapes and orchard.
All right. Now we're in the middle of Riesling, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Now what all do you have planted at Art Denhoed Vineyard?
There's Riesling, Sauvignon Blanc, Gewürztraminer, Syrah, and Merlot. And we've also started doing we got Roussanne, Marsanne, Mourvedre, Grenache.
Renaissance of Riesling, so to speak, that the Yakima Valley is kind of returning to the prestige that it had had for a long time.
Exactly. I think they're finding that out, that, because reds seem to be going on both sides, Horse Heaven and Mattawa, and the whites seem to be what's emphasized in the valley.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just kind of tasting for flavor. You spit out the seeds and the skin and kind of just keep a mental tally
Yeah, and we have
of flavor.
yeah.
So maybe you'll taste
that's all.
20 grapes per row, and if 3 of them are sour,
Just kind of,
maybe you don't want to pick. If you get flavor out of all of them, then
which helps
maybe
too,
you
like
wanna
this
pick.
time of year too.
And I think it helps to calibrate. I think you need to visit a block probably on average 3 times or more before you pick. And so each time you're seeing the progression of flavor. You just don't go to a place and pick the first time, because you got to see annually or seasonally what that vineyard's giving you. Sorry, I don't mean to repeat everything. Are you tasting, Art?
I am. I think we're ready to go, Kate.
Yeah, it's spoken like a true grower. I wouldn't call it antagonistic, but I'd say the growers want you to pick, and the winemakers generally want you to hang. And so at some point, you got to meet in the middle.
Now, at this point, it doesn't even seem as though you're bothering you to see what the seed color is. You're just totally focused on the flavors.
No, at some point they're like kind of crunchy, and so physiologically they're ripe. Like these seeds are crunchy; they're more brittle. So yeah, I'm not really looking. I think we're kind of past that point, even though it is pretty early. But yeah, I'm just looking for flavor. There's been a couple berries that haven't had that much flavor, but the rest of them really have. So I'm not sure we'll do it this week, but it's close. So, I mean, honestly, Art, he's a really good grower. I mean, he's one of our best growers, this guy right here.
I like to hear that, Kate.
It's the truth.